Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. This is Ghost War 38, and today I wanted to give you a little look over my small collection of Western films. This video is coming right after I did my little overview of the Arrow, Sartana, and Django films. I have my stack here, but coming off the one here first, I got this for Christmas. This is the Clint Eastwood Dollars trilogy. Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This was used. I have only seen so far the Fistful of Dollars movie. I have yet to watch The Good, and the Bad, and the Ugly, and a few dollars more. I've really enjoyed it so far. However, I will preface this by saying the first Western movie I ever watched was The Outlaw Josey Wales, so that one holds a little bit more significance to me overall. But yeah, I look forward to watching the other two here. Nice little slipcase. Has some artwork with Clint Eastwood on it. Product label down here. Going from the top to the bottom here, I have Western with Sam Elliott. This is Louis L'Amour's The Quick and the Dead. In 1876, Wyoming, the gun is the only law, and for Duncan and Susanna McCaskill, played by Tom Conti and Kate Capshaw, newly arrived settlers beset by outlaws, frontiersman Con Villian, played by Sam Elliott, is the only hope. From the book by famed Western author Louis L'Amour, it's a rousing adventure recalling all-time greats like Shane and Pale Rider, which I have here in the collection. It shares tried and true ingredients of those sagebrush sagas, peaceable folk driven to action under the guidance of a mysterious stranger, rich outdoor cinematography by Dick Bush, and a stellar cast led by Sam Elliott, who the New York Times' John O'Connor called the niftiest cowboy this side of John Wayne and Walter Brennan. Saddle up, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's just the back to what the packaging says. I look forward to watching this and seeing how it goes. I have not seen some of these yet, so putting that off to the side. The next one here is from Australia. This is The Proposition. It's during the 1880s. In a harsh, unforgiving landscape of the outback, Charlie Burns is presented with an impossible proposition by the local law enforcer, Captain Stanley. The only way to save his younger brother, Mickey, from the gallows is to track down and kill Arthur, his psychotic older brother. Meanwhile, Stanley has other problems to contend with. Having given up their comfortable life, he is desperate to shield his wife Martha from the brutalities of their new surroundings. He faces mounting pressure from renegade natives and his superior Eldon Fletcher to bring order to the region. An uneasy sense of foreboding grows, and events close in, as each character faces a punishing moral dilemma that leads to a murderous climax. I've heard a lot about this as well. This was post Deadwood, so I'll be curious to see how this goes. I have never seen Deadwood either, but I've heard people say a lot of positive things about it. But yeah, that's really all I can say so far about this one. I bought this used. Came from a local Blockbuster at the time. Rest in peace. Most of the discs are in pretty good shape. I try to make sure the disc is playable before buying it, or at least that it's in good condition. And after that, I have more of Clint Eastwood's films, Hang 'em High and High Plains Drifter. This is known as the Mysterious Stranger, or I don't know what you want to call it, or the Stranger trilogy. Starts with Hang 'em High, High Plains Drifter, then ends with Pale Rider as the preacher. Here he's a marshal accused of a wrongful crime that he did not commit. He is sentenced to hang, and he is saved by Pat Hingle's marshal, and he's basically given a chance to start over. and gets his badge and basically tries to hunt down the men that tried to do him wrong, while all at the same time trying to be a good man and still fulfill his duties as a marshal. So yeah, High Plains Drifter. Sort of starts out like Hang 'em High. Mysterious stranger wanders into a town, except the townspeople are not as innocent as they appear to be, and the journey basically unfolds through there. Some argue and say that by the end of the movie, I will say this by massive spoilers at the ending, he might be a ghost after all, and that he could be the spirit of their dead sheriff come back to life. There's massive spoilers there, so if you haven't seen this movie, you've been warned about the ending, but I won't tell you how that happens. You'll kind of have to watch that for yourself. I look forward to watching this. So that's two of Clint Eastwood's movies. Appaloosa. This was another early 2000s film. Don't know much about this outside of reading some stuff online and just seeing how well it did commercially and financially. And this is my first TV show in my little collection. This is Hell on Wheels. This was supposed to be, some people would say a successor to Deadwood, but that's depending on who you ask. This is done by AMC, the same people that did The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. This wasn't as successful as those two shows, primarily because of the fact this wasn't as well promoted. It lasted 5-6 seasons, and story-wise, it's as good as any HBO show. Hellbent on vengeance, former Confederate officer Cullen Bohannon, played by Anson Mount, travels west in search of the Union soldiers who murdered his wife. His quest leads him to Hell on Wheels, a dangerous, raucous town that follows the construction of the nation's first transcontinental railroad. It's 10 episodes long, so it's fairly quick to get it. It's fairly short. It's fairly short as far as TV shows go, but I'm assuming the episodes are fairly lengthy. I have yet to watch this yet. I'm actually planning on doing this watching this after I'm done with High Plains Drifter, which is what I'm going to be watching later. So there's that one. I got this used. Case was a bit damaged, and same thing with the slipcase. But yeah, that's Hell on Wheels there. This is my Magnificent Seven trilogy. The original with Yul Brynner, and then 3 other films. Found this at Walmart in their discount bin with Westerns. Lee Van Cleef is in the Magnificent Seven ride, and Yul Brynner comes back to the Return of the Magnificent Seven. And I've only ever seen the first film, so I'll be curious to see the others, because my dad has a copy of the original, and I watched that with him. Although I do know that they did remake it with Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, and a couple other characters with a couple other actors by Tarantino. I think it was Tarantino that did it. I don't remember offhand. Wasn't my favorite. And then my favorite Eastwood Western, The Outlaw Josie Wales, based off of the book The Rebel Outlaw Josie Wales, named by Forrest Carter, also released as Gone to Texas. What can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said by other people? If you want to get anyone into watching any old school Western or even of Eastwood's movies, this is the one to watch. Although some would say Fistful of Dollars or High Plains Drifter, to me, it's like, watch this one if you watch any of Eastwood's movies. Then after that is his Pale Rider film, the final film in his Stranger trilogy, as it's been called. Preacher comes into town. All is not as it seems. He merely nope, I'm not going to spoil it. I've seen a little bit of it online, or at least some clips. Not going to say anything. Here's the inside cover. Look forward to giving this a rewatch. And then here's the Sam Elliott Western Collection. It's 3 movies. Rough Riders. I remember watching this one when I was in high school. So I have some fond memories of this one with my history teacher when I was worked as a teaching assistant with him. Desperate Trail, Rough Riders, fun movie. And you know my name. And last but not least is another Louis L'Amour film, Shadow Riders, starring both Tom Selleck and Sam Elliott. Based off the book, which I have a copy of. I've yet to read the book. I want to see this movie first to see how it goes, and then read the book after that. The back of this says the Civil War is over and the Traven brothers are going home. But what Mac, Tom Selleck, and Dale, played by Sam Elliott, find upon their arrival is a town ravaged by Confederate rebels who refuse to surrender, swearing to fight the Yankees to the bitter end, and guerrillas have kidnapped the Traven's younger sisters, as well as Dale's sweetheart, Kate, played by Catherine Ross, and plan to sell the girls into a Mexico brothel to raise money for guns and bullets. Determined to rescue their loved ones, Mac and Dell bust their uncle Black Jack, played by Ben Johnson, out of prison and head south for the border, where they aim to finish a war they thought had already ended. Haven't seen this yet, so I can't say much about it, but it just sounded interesting from reading the back of the packaging. And it's based off of one of Louis L'Amour's books, so I thought, hey, sounds good already. So that's really all I can say so far. And that's the look at my Western film collection. I hope you guys like this little show and tell, I guess. I don't know how to describe this. But anyway, I hope you folks have a good rest of your evening. And I will see you guys next time with another video. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click that bell notification on to all. And until then, I will see you guys next time. So have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.